Hi guys, welcome to this session in Microsoft Word. In this module, I want to show you some of the secrets that you might not be aware of that are available in Word. So first of all, I need to get myself some text. So I'm typing equals rand with an open and close bracket like that. That will get some random text like so. And then I'll just open that up, put some spaces in there so you can see the paragraphs like that. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is selecting text. So if I click into the first paragraph and I want to select the first sentence, I can quickly just highlight that and then slow down when I see the full stop and so on and so on. Or I can do this. I can click in front of the first letter of that sentence, hold my control key down, and then when I drag, it just highlights that first sentence. And if I do it again on this one, if I get in front of the when, hold my control key down, start dragging, and it just highlights that sentence. I'll just do it again there. Control key, sentence. Now, this area in Word is called the selection area. And basically, as long as your arrow is pointing that way, and if I come too far across it flicks the other way, you can click and it will highlight the whole line. If you double click, it will highlight the paragraph. I should have done a space there because there's a paragraph end. If you triple click, it will highlight the whole document. Click away from that. So one click the line, two clicks the paragraph, three clicks the document. Now also you can double click on a word to highlight it. You can hold your control key down, double click on another word and another word, and they'll all be highlighted. You can do the same with single letters. Control key down, highlight just single letters. Forget the thing. Let's do that again. Okay, it's playing up. Let's try that one. Control key down, highlight that one. That's it. And then you can do what you like with that. So I'm doing control square bracket to increase the font point, which is same as using these two tools at the top here on the ribbon. Now, if you move your mouse up to the ruler, now if you haven't got the ruler, you need to go view ruler, make sure it's on. You only need to do that once. You can put a tab on by clicking. I'll just click there. Let's put a tab marker on. But if I double click there, it comes into format tabs, which is the same place you would go if you went through the normal way, which is paragraph and then tabs. Then you've got your tab sets there. Click clear that one. Now you've got to be careful with that because when you double click there, you can see I've actually put a tab on at that point. So basically clear all tabs there, click OK, gets rid of everything. So the rule is quite useful. It's quite useful also for indents. This is the indent marker, the left indent. If I pick it up, I can pull the whole thing across to wherever I want it to go. If I point to the top triangle, I can pull that across to be the first line indent, and that will stay the same. That gap will stay the same if I pick the rectangle part of that up. If I want to push them back together, I can do like that. And if I do Control Q, it will reset paragraphs. On the right there, you've got the right indent. Pick that up, bring it in, and then you can see how that works. Control Q again, reset paragraphs. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of these. So if I just go for that. Now, there are some other features that you can utilize, which is on this option here. We've got these sort of like fancy letters. I click on that, so I've changed that, and then you can come back into this and set some of the other things up like outline, different options, shadow, put a shadow on, and then you go back into it each time to change something else. So you can see there, if I go down to the bottom there, shadow options, you can change the color of the shadow, for example. Okay, put that to red, and then you can see that little red shadow. Now that feature is sitting on the ribbon, but you can also get to it through the font block, this little down arrow at the end there, which takes you to format font. Of course, you've got this there, and it's all under text effects at the bottom. So there you go. Text fill, you've got the option there to fill in that. So that's white at the moment. Let's change that to a green or something. So it just changes color slightly. You can have it transparency set to whatever you want. you can go to the actual letter. This is where all the shadow and everything was there. You've got reflection. You can pick one of these preset ones. It gives you this setting already. Click OK to that and OK to that. See what sort of damage I've done. Okay, wonderful, amazing. Now that's all there on the ribbon or available by double clicking and formatting it. You can right click into it, you can click into that. Now something else I want to point out is hidden text. If I double click on this paragraph to highlight it, and if I go back up to this into the font block onto the font tab, these effect options here, you've got strike through, double strike through, etc., etc. But you've also got this one hidden. What's this all about? If I click on that and then click OK, it does what it says on the tin, it's hidden. Now, the only way to see hidden text in a document is to click on this option, show hide, and then you'll see the hidden text with a little line, dotted line under it. If I take that off, it disappears. So what would that be about? Now, if I just get myself a new document for a minute, and just do a little table for insert a table, just to show you what you might want to use that for. So let's use titles here, name, depth, and then I'll leave that one blank, or I'll just put it, maybe I'll put instruction. So like an instruction for somebody. So you want people to fill this in. Now, what I'm going to put in here is surname only. Mobile only. So that's like the instructions I want. Now I want this to be hidden. So I'm going to highlight this text and go back to home and then font and then hidden. Okay to that. So that hides. And then I also want to hide these borders. So I'll just go no border for that. And then I'll have to put a right border back onto that one. It's the right border, so it's all nice and neat. Hidden text, even though it's there on show hide. If I click on it, you can see it. It does not display or does not print when you print it off. If I do Control P, there you can see that the instructions are not there. It's just the actual non-hidden text. I've come back into the document, and if I need to knock that back off, I'll have to click on Show Hide and highlight all of that again. Go back into Font and tick that off, and then click OK. So hidden text is really for documents where you want some instructions, as opposed to having that print off, or if anybody does still print things off, that's how that works. Let's take the show hide off once you've done that. And now I'm going to Control W that window. Control W means close window. See how it's got don't save, a little N on the don't underlined, underscored, and one on the S for save. It means you can just press those letters on the keyboard. So if I don't want to save this, I'm just pressing N. Then I'll come back to the other document like so. Now, if I just double click on this document again, some things that might catch people out. In fact, I'll do a title. Let's come down. Let's do a title. So introduction. There's a title. Now I want that to be back to the default font. So I'm going to do Control Space Bar, which will put that back to default. That's the best key command on the planet. So remember that one, Control Space Bar. But I want to set this to a heading 1. Now, when you set these preset headings, I've not edited these. You get this sort of setting, big gap before, space before, and a smaller one after. And no matter how much you backspace, that's going to be there if you click in heading style 1 or heading style 2. Now, heading style 2, I've modified. So you can see that I haven't got any spaces there, and that's the one I tend to use. I don't really like this one, but I could have modified that one. I just picked that for some weird reason. Now to modify it, you just basically right click on it, go into modify, and then you can modify heading 1 to be wherever you want it to be. So it's quite a large font. If I want to see what, there it tells me the spacings, but if I go into format paragraph, you can clear this off. If I go back down to 0, it's jumping in groups, so that single line, no indent. Okay, let's click OK to that. Now you've got the options to update this document or everything that's based on this template, the normal template. I'm going to go for that one. Click OK. So now if I go for heading 1, that's there. That's there. I didn't change the color. I should have changed the color. Heading 2, that's like so. So that's how you can change that, and that's what that means when you've got spaces before. So if you ever double click in a paragraph and it hasn't been set to a heading style, somebody would have probably gone into paragraph options there and played around with this spacing. You've also got the option there to do that on the layout tab, spacing before, spacing afterwards, and indents are there as well. You might find when you first buy Word, Microsoft default setting is to have the line spacing set to multiple, 1 and a bit, 1.15 I think it's set as, don't quote me. But you want to put that back to normal, no spacing, you have to go in here, clear all this off and then set it as default, and then that will fix that issue for you. I'll just cancel that off. So that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Some of the formatting tips that you can use or shortcuts that you can use to get things done. I personally quite like this control and selecting the first sort of bit of a word, and it does the whole sentence. Remember, double clicking does the paragraph, triple clicking does the document. So hopefully that was good. Thanks for your time. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.